Statistically speaking, every single person listening to this podcast is going to die. Cheery thought, huh? That's for you, Jake. In fact, the average human spends roughly 26 years sleeping, 11 years staring at a screen, 4 years eating, and about 6 months waiting at red lights. So somewhere in there, you're expected to pay taxes, fold laundry, pretend to understand what your financial advisor is talking about, and then poof, game over. You're dead. So while you're killing time, before eventually time kills you, spend some time with us. We're not doctors. We're not therapists. We're not financial advisors. Hell, we're barely functioning adults. But if the universe is just one giant waiting room, you might as well have a laugh while you're here. So grab a drink, ignore your responsibilities for the next hours, and join us. I'm Matt.
I'm Jake.
Oh, and I'm Brandon.
Do it again. Ugh. I talked over you, please.
I'm Brandon.
I don't know if I'm Jake. God damn it.
And between this time, somebody has died. And this is qualified nonsense.
I'll be able to edit one of those out.
Well, welcome to the show. We're going to take a little departure from our previous episodes and skip our typical chit chat up top and jump right into questions from Reddit. But before we do that, if you'd like to watch us on YouTube, find us at youtube.com/@qualifiednonsense. And don't forget to support us on Patreon at patreon.com/qualifiednonsense. Feel free to drop us a line at qualifiednonsense@gmail.com or connect with us on our socials or find us over on our Discord server. If you or someone you know would make a great guest on a future episode of Qualified Nonsense, please let us know. And now's the time on the show where we take on Reddit's most pressing queries by finding the top trending questions and answering them here.
And just a note on the guests, we have had a little dry spell. We've got some people that are
Will you be our
orbiting.
friend?
They're orbiting us, but we'll be getting back into some guests soon. And so if you want to be one of those guests, like Brandon said, slide into those DMs. All right.
You could be a guest.
You want to be friends with us? All right.
We have a very low bar for entry, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Has time not run out yet for you, as per Matt's intro?
Do you have $99? Do you have an internet connection? You could be a guest.
Hey.
The pay is really good too.
Super good. Ooh, that reminds me.
It's mostly clout.
Yeah, it's exposure. We pay an exposure to a couple people in Vietnam and the Aleutian
There's a couple
Islands
in the Pacific Northwest. I think there's a handful in the Pacific Northwest, and then like one or two in the.
Our parents don't.
East. No, they do count. Thank you, parents. Hey, Mom, Pop, thank you.
Keep clicking.
I actually don't
smash that like and subscribe, Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad. I don't think my folks listen anymore, but that's okay.
I know mine do because I get whenever they come up to see my kids, we live about 45 minutes away. Like it's enough time for them to listen. My dad's like, "You guys are funny." I was like, "Oh, listen to it. You listen to it again."
That's an awkward car ride.
Yeah,
it's kind of what I'm thinking.
Luke said that he doesn't get down with podcasts really, but he was really appreciative to see all of the shorts that we have on YouTube because he's like, he gets little snippets of the podcast and he's like, "Oh man, it looks like you guys are having so much fun." But he really likes those sort of like digestible little snippets.
I'll tell you what though, lately they've gotten a lot of hate. We got a couple of trolls, which I love. Because, well, they just say things like, I'll put up a question from the thing, but I don't put up any of the answers. And it's like, what is a question? What's something that you pronounce wrong on purpose? And then I cut it there. And they're like, well, thanks for the answer. I was like, well, there is no answer. It's kind of like, engage. But I was like, thanks
Idiot.
for commenting. So to all you trolls out there, first of all, go fuck yourself. And
But
second
also,
of all,
keep them coming.
thank you. Yeah, no, keep it. Yeah, come on. Love it.
All right. I've already derailed
All
us trying to do a
Crack
different
on.
intro. So
No, that's fine. That this is what the this new sort of format is about. Is sort of a little bit more like, rather than like, what's the weather
So
like
edgy.
in your neck of the woods? You know,
yeah,
that-
we
that kind of-
absolutely have talked about that lately. We sound just like, honestly, like when I talk to my dad, I'm like, hey,
I have
how's
a
it
new
going?
computer
And like,
backdrop.
subject 2 or 3, we talk about the weather, and genuinely we're interested, but also like it's pretty funny how quickly that comes up as being a key point of interest.
What are the blue beak cardinals doing out there?
Man, you've gone too far.
You guys remember Elusive Trout Pub in Sandy?
Oh,
Man.
we can't talk about Sandy now. It's a delicate
Oh,
subject
really?
right now.
What's going on in Sandy? I mean, what's going on in that one place?
There was a
mind.
mass shooting.
What? I didn't even.
It's not funny, but
Jesus Christ. Okay, we can carry on.
Yeah.
questions.
Question. This comes from the Stupid Questions subreddit, username Joseph68. They ask, do you ever lose your shit if a friend doesn't like a movie or TV show you recommend?
First question. Is that to mean there's already a Joseph 69? Why did he have to go to 68?
Well, there was 1 through 67 apparently, so whoever was after him got Joseph 69, unless somebody jumped on that early.
I mean, I have to imagine someone.
If I
jumped on
was
it early.
Joseph, I would have skipped 1 through 68 and gone straight to 69.
Your wife's a lucky woman.
Is Joseph a book of the Bible?
No, he was
It's not
just
a book of the Bible, but
he was just
has the
not
Technicolor
banging
Dreamcoat.
Mary.
He is a Broadway musical, though.
I was thinking maybe it's like a Bible verse reference or something, but apparently not.
I mean, Joseph was in theory, the father of God.
He was
But he didn't have
not
sex?
biologically.
Yeah, he was the bonus dad of God.
He was the stepdad of God.
He was the dad who stepped up.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Anyway,
Wait,
big ups, Joseph.
I already forgot the question. What's the question?
I don't. Go ahead.
Do you ever lose your shit if a friend doesn't like a movie or TV show you recommended?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't.
I don't. I feel like Brandon, of anybody, this would be you, because you see the most things out of us, and you also recommend the most things. So if one of us says like we don't like it, do you? Well, you first of all, you never lose your shit, but do you ever get irritated? You're like, oh, come on, this is objectively good.
No, because I mean, different strokes for different folks, and like I know that I have different tastes from a lot, like my wife and I have different tastes in things, and if there's something I really like, I know there's a pretty high likelihood she won't like it, but I'm not gonna divorce her over it or anything. But yeah, I actually this is a good point to plug the Discord really quick. I've been writing like little mini movie reviews on there,
Yeah.
so join
It's
the
been
Discord
fantastic.
and read those.
Brandon's
Yeah.
been doing book reports.
Our
They've been good.
Our Discord has a couple of like special interests channels in it. I don't know what you call them. I guess channels.
Channels.
I
And,
don't either. I
yeah.
still don't understand how to work it.
I mean, it's just like a like Teams. You use Teams at work?
Actively, no.
Okay.
I actively
Do you
avoid
use Slack?
Microsoft Teams. Yes, from time to time. I
Okay.
prefer.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
I'm not going to try and we can take this offline. No, but anyway, we have an art section.
Fucking corporate, bro.
and-
We'll take this offline.
Let's land this plane later.
Yeah. Jeez.
No. I just mean, yeah, it's cool. Brandon's been writing some really cool pieces in our art section, which I think is a lot of fun. Especially because I don't go out and see movies very often. So like, it's fun to see what he's like,
It is. And like, you just put one up about Obsession that you went into pretty much blind, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I talked to my wife about it, and she's like, "Oh, I really wanted to." And I was like, "Well, check out Brandon's review. Like, it's pretty great." And it sounds like most people that are like cinematic focused are kind of blind on it. Like, nobody really knows anything about this guy.
It's it's made a lot of money. But and I hadn't heard anything about it really. And I mean, it's been out for a couple weeks now, and a few weeks by the time this comes out. But yeah, if you like horror movies, I even told my wife she doesn't like horror movies, and I said she would probably like about half of the movie.
Would I like it? Because I think me and your wife are kind of the same. Like, we're watching Widow's Bay right now, and that's almost too jumpy for me.
I haven't watched that, so I don't know.
It's
Widow's Bay.
It's on Apple TV.
Oh.
It's,
is it that Scottish or Irish one where they killed their husband? Someone's husband? Oh, okay. Never mind.
No, it's a show on Apple TV about an island that's trying to get tourism back, and this fog kind of comes over that has happened a couple times throughout history, and it makes people kind of lose their mind and do obscure things.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, but it's listed as a comedy horror or dark horror comedy, something like that. And I was like, I guess I get that, but like the reason I don't watch those kind of things is because they work on me. Like, I'll purposefully go to bed before my wife because I don't want to be the last one going upstairs with dark.
Obsession isn't really like scary. Like it's not. Yeah, I would say you could probably deal with it. I mean, there are some like kind of jump scares, but it's not like, it's not really like watching the movie. You don't really have like a feeling of, yeah, it's not too scary.
I would say, like, in specific to the question, I don't lose it over. Like, for me, if I'm having a bad day, I'll just turn on Jackass because that's kind of like therapeutic to me. It's like, the world isn't that bad of a place because like this exists. And I have an amazing partner that's like, she could tell I'm having a bad day. She's like, you just want to watch Jackass, don't you? I was like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But
that'll make it all better.
All that to be said, later this month, their final movie's coming out, and she has been like, you can go to that. I will not be going with you. I was like, okay.
Does she not like Jackass?
It's not that. It's just like, it's not worth getting a babysitter for, kind of a thing.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, she doesn't work Mondays or Fridays, so we could go any of those days, honestly. But at the same time, she's just like, it doesn't mean that much to me, but I understand that it means something to you. So.
Yeah, I don't get like losing your shit over something. I mean, I guess it depends on their reaction. Like if you say, hey, you should check this out, and they watch it and they're like, that was really awful. I don't know how anyone could like that, or blah, blah, blah. Like
just a second, I need to get these scissors over here.
Insulting about it, like kind of insulting your character or whatever, then,
thanks. I wasted an hour and a half of my life for that garbage.
I find
at the same time, though.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, it often comes with like a sense of shit. That word was in my head and now it's gone. But it's like better than, or like, oh, you didn't like it, you didn't understand it, you must not have
The
understood
one-upper.
it, or like, yeah, it's just sort of like talking
Petty.
down to, yeah, it's weird.
I guess like
I
if you
don't-
were like, oh hey, I saw the new Marvel movie. I thought that, you know, it was pretty good, and they're like, oh, those movies are for idiots or whatever. You know, like if somebody says something like that, then it's like, well, fuck you too.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, right. I know it doesn't add anything
Say
to a
that to the
conversation.
Infinity Stones. Bap.
Yeah, even if it's not your bag, like, you know, like that's actually the Marvel movies are a really great example. Like, it's not my bag, but I'm not like, oh, those are dumb, because like, what's the point?
This
what's
is
the point of
cinematic
like What's the point
garbage.
of dunk? I've gotten less and less interested in dunking on people. There was a time in my life where it felt like good to a degree, especially people that I didn't care for or whatever. But like, I just have zero. I'm happy that I'm in a state where I just have zero interest of dunking on anybody or being present when it happens. Like, it just makes me uncomfortable, and I'm just kind of like, I don't
Good
need
for
that.
you. That's a great spot to be. I'm just
Yeah.
like, you know what? Your life sucks. I'm gonna go this way.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
to get so like worked up about other people's taste in things is a waste of time. Yeah.
It's interesting though. It's like when people, I think what happens is that people's identity ends up getting tied up with whatever that is. And like, we're seeing certainly that over the past probably 10 years politically, people's identity gets tied up with, you know, whatever their opinion is. So much so that it's like conversation blocking, and it's damaging to, you know,
It becomes so much of
communication.
their identity that they're unable to even converse
Yeah.
with it, like, or able to see somebody else's point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
will
there's,
say though,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead. I was just gonna say, like, contrary to that, my kids, I have two girls, and they're 10 and 7, and they're so wrapped up in like baking shows for the like for the last year and a half. And I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to change this up. And we showed them a couple of Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations. I was like,
Yeah.
hey, this is really, like, he's an important figure. And one of the episodes we scrolled by was it was after he had passed, but they had filmed it. And one of the titles was like Anthony's legacy or the importance of Bourdain or something like that. And my kids have this habit of always asking, like, are they alive?
Yeah.
And I was
Same.
like, you know what? No, this person isn't. And like, well, how did they die? I was like, oh, we'll talk about that later. But the Anthony Bourdain aspect, in my opinion, was like, it's food focused, which is what my kids really want. They want to see that culture. And we're not currently traveling, but it's like, here's what it would look like in Japan, or here's what it looks like in Brazil, or here's what it looks like in Puerto Rico. And they finally got into it. And I was like, oh, yes, thank
Nice.
you.
Did you tell your daughters that he was murdered by Israel?
APAC got him.
Have you heard that conspiracy theory?
No.
No,
Anyway, we don't have to get into it now, but anyway.
you kind of.
That was like cracking a huge beer, just like, and then be like, oh,
Anyway, but
no,
we don't have
we're
to
not
drink
gonna
it
have
right
this.
now.
We're not gonna have this right now.
Brandon. Anyway, just a second. There's a big knock at my door right now. I gotta.
Yeah.
Are those drones flying overhead? Yeah. What was I gonna say? Does it feel like when people recommend things to watch, especially like if they keep following up on it, like it just makes you not want to do that even more?
I do get a little bit of that, but I've just been not consuming much media lately, and so almost every recommendation I get, I go, "Oh yeah, that sounds good," or "Oh yeah, I'll have to watch that." And
Yeah, I'll put
it's
that on my
totally
list. And,
yeah, it's totally disingenuous, and I feel bad. Like, I want to be polite and stuff, but also like I'm not.
Nah, I'm
like,
not gonna do that.
Well, that's what am I supposed to say? Oh no, I'm not. That sounds like a waste of my time. Oh, my time is too precious. Fuck you.
So I know, for example, there's two examples that I have of shows where that's not a thing for me. One is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and the other is Rick and Morty. That's a prime example of people like, you have to watch these. And I know I don't, or I do, wear my emotions well. And like the minute people start talking about it, or like I absolutely hate. And I know I'm also often on the other side of like, hey, watch this, it's really good. You might enjoy it. But that's usually where I keep it. I've been on the other end of like, the reason why this is so, I was like, just fucking, just let me discover this myself. Like people will start talking about Rick and Morty and like, I just gloss over, like just, I was like,
Well,
Well, at a certain point, it kind of feels like homework, when people are like, no, you need to watch season 6 and 7. You can skip 8, but then you watch the first half of 9, and that like that kind of thing. Which I know I'm kind of making fun of. Like I was asking Eric, who was a previous guest, about like Star Trek recommendations and stuff, but we were kind of having a similar conversation.
You brought that on. But you brought that on. You asked specifically, like, hey, I don't have the bandwidth to do the whole thing. Like, give me some cliff notes. And I think that's respectable of you to be like, hey,
that's totally fair. Especially when someone's willing to do it in a way. Like I thought, Eric's a great example. Like he did it fantastic, where you solicited the information, and he's like, oh yeah, I mean they're all great, and I like I like X, Y, and Z, and I would spend time watching that. But yeah, I agree. His approach was.
But I meant more like if it's like unsolicited, then it does kind of feel like homework, especially if it's like a coworker and you see them daily and they keep hounding you like, oh, did you check this out? Did you check this out? Like that happened one time. This woman I work with, she was like, what show was it? It was a show on the Sci-Fi Channel that was on at the same time as Walking Dead, but it was like a cheaper version of Walking Dead.
Ooh.
It was what was it called? It wasn't World War Z, but it was something like that. But anyway,
Walking Pred.
And I watched a couple episodes, and it was dog shit, and I hated it. And and.
Did you say that?
No, I didn't. But she kept like, I was like, yeah, I watched a couple episodes. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it was fine. And she was like, oh, did you see blah, blah, blah? I was like, no, I haven't gotten to that yet. It's all right.
Well, you left the door open because you said, oh, it was all right. Like, you just got to stop and be like, hey, I watched those episodes. It's not for me. I appreciate that it is. Like, good for you. I put the time and effort in.
But we're talking about Brandon Bernhardt right now.
I know, but like you can at least, because I think you leave that door open by being too nice sometimes. Of like, oh, I watched those first couple, and now you lit the fuse.
It was probably a tense moment too, because he's reporting that he said they were okay, but face to face with someone who's like, this is my favorite show. Did you like it? He probably actually said like, oh yeah, it was pretty good.
I'll probably get a Golden Globe.
Z-Nation is the name of the show.
Z Nation?
I didn't realize you were watching propaganda these days. You should have just killed it out of the gate. Don't want any of this propaganda in my life.
I was actually pretty direct with a door-to-door salesman today. There was a guy like selling pest control stuff. We have a no soliciting sign on the door, and he was like, hi, my name's whatever, and he like put out his hand, and I just said, hey, the sign says no soliciting, and then I just shut the door.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Ring the doorbell again, see what happens.
Door-to-door salesman, though, that, I mean, yeah, I know, like, it's a job, and it probably sucks, and I don't want to be, like, mean to the people, because they're just trying to make a living or whatever, but, like, I don't know what would bring somebody to do that, or I don't know. It would be a miserable existence for me if I had to go door to door selling stuff.
I'm gonna go out on a crazy limb and any sales. I understand that it's a necessary job. I can't do it. Anytime
That's what my business exists on.
Matt, no, I know. No, I know.
But our business is business to business interactions.
Which is actually different.
Business,
I think that's fair.
It's not business to consumer. However, they are told no a dozen times a day, if not more, and in the same fashion that, Brandon, you receive, because they're dealing with small business owners. But I think it does take a very, very, very specific type of personality to have the tough skin to be told no and to be extroverted enough to turn it into a positive interaction. However, I will say, if you have a no soliciting sign, that's a business to consumer interaction, and you're well within your rights to say, like, hey, dude, you're selling me something. That's exactly what this means. Go the fuck away.
I also think there are so few things. Well, I was just going to say that there's so few things that I'm in life so passionate about or committed to evangelize that people who do it as a job.
Do you like money, bro? Come on.
No, respect to them, because I understand that it's a necessary part of our economy and our world that we live in. It bothers me to the core. Like anyone who has to be so positive about a product, I fundamentally don't trust, and I feel guilty about it. And again, Matt,
well, how do you feel about politicians? How do you feel about people that you vote for,
bro? I feel it's similarly.
Okay. But you still vote, right?
Sure, because I exist in the world that we live in. Like, there are rules in place, and there are, I think, worse salespeople than, or politicians or what have you. And I consume products, I consume stuff, and certainly tactics in sales work. And I've obviously trusted a number of people because I've bought things like everything that you can see in this camera shot and the camera that I'm using, all that stuff. And I understand that it's necessary. And I'm not even going to call it a necessary evil, because I don't think it's fundamentally evil. I just don't have a trust for it in large part because I don't find like a connection with it, and it unsettles me. But I'm not trying to throw shade at all. And I also interrupted you, Brandon.
No, I was going to say that if I were a door-to-door salesperson, I would probably prefer just having the door slammed in my face rather than somebody who has no intention of buying what I'm selling, but just being polite and listening and wasting my time when I could be
That's a good point.
Moving on to
the
next house or whatever. But
yeah, door-to-door sales or business-to-business sales is not for the faint of heart by any means. You got to be willing to be told no. But
I feel like
that's
a business
that exists,
is more of a receptive audience than, going to someone's private residence.
It is. But I do have sympathy specifically for the pest control people, because it is something that most households should have, but it's not anything that's ever investigated, because it's just one of those things. So the fact that somebody shows up to your door, I kind of respect the fact that it's somebody that's selling something. It might feel really unprofessional or very informal or what have you, but at least they're there and they're trying. And even if that's not the person, it's going to get you to investigate pest control in some other form. So I don't know. That's kind of my opinion.
Well, it's always the people who are like, hey, we're doing work in your neighborhood, and we're wondering if you want a free siding estimate.
I'll only be here till Wednesday. It's
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah, we'll be here tomorrow. I hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sort of pretend urgency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, just give me
Like,
the information. Let me make an
your
informed
neighbors have
decision
already,
based on information.
yeah.
I don't need to know the fact that like you left your little Segway out on my sidewalk because I was the next house and there was a car in the driveway. Like, give me the information. If it's a good deal, it's a good deal. Don't be
That's
like,
what
I
the
need to
guy was
come by
on today. He was
tomorrow.
on like one of those like half Segway things.
That's why I said it. I know exactly those people. Oh, you're not in that. What about magazines? You still read magazines? I got this, bro. Anyway, what are some of the top answers?
Yeah, the top one here, the person says, no, that would be weird and dumb. If someone did that to me, I'd no longer want to be their friend, so why do it to others?
All right. Okay.
Strong opinion.
This person says, no, but my friends lose their shit when I don't bother watching what they recommend because I don't have time.
I love that. Be the problem. Be the whole problem.
Yeah, be the whole problem.
Oh, I'll get to it
Well,
eventually.
I mean, that's like what we were talking about, where it does kind of like make you feel like more stubborn and like dig in your heels when people like press on you. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely, for me, I'm like, no, fuck you. That's not how I'm going to spend. And
I'm going to
also
go
the
to
other
my
thing is
grave
that, like,
never watching The Sopranos or whatever. Like,
so, right. So often also
Gabo,
it's,
what? I don't
it's
know.
like it's like shows, right? It's because I feel like there's more shows than movies, or people watch. I don't know, but a lot of times they're asking for a 6-10 hour commitment of like watching series. It's like, fuck you, dude. If I'm not genuinely interested, I'm not going to be like, oh. I mean, maybe if one of you guys recommended it, I'd be more interested. But like people that you work with and like, you know, randos who you don't necessarily even share the same taste, like that you know about in person, you're just like, no, I'm good.
yeah, like a show is something you have to really invest your time in. Whereas like a movie, like if somebody's like, you know, like, oh, hey, we want to watch a movie Friday night. We're in the mood for a comedy or a, you know, black and white movie or what, you know, whatever. You can give a kind of a more
You know
pointed.
who I wouldn't be asking though? My coworkers who would not be there to be like, "Hey, me and my husband are looking for it. I just want to know what you would want to do if you were there with me." You know, it's like I wouldn't. You know,
Nah, I'm
I
good.
the or it's like one of those. Hey, I suggested that you watch Dahmer, and then it's like, oh, my coworker got arrested for what? I don't know. Apparently, he was like a serial killer. He said I should have watched Dahmer. It's like, oh man, he was giving it away the whole time.
He was telegraphing to me.
He was trying to reach out for help.
For hell.
I just find it crazy that people get so hung up on the like, I have nothing to do with your life, but I feel like you should watch it. The only time I guess I've really ever suggested like something as good as if I first of all feel strongly about it because I feel like those people would be interested. Like, Brandon, you like horror. So that's why I'm like, hey, Widow's Bay, you might like it. The only other time that I do that is when it's like, hey, I noticed that this is leaving. So I don't know where you're going to be able to see it next, but I know that you have Netflix. Maybe check it out before it goes. That's it.
Yeah. I do. Do you guys ever like shows that maybe passed you by when they were on or whatever, and you just never got around to watching it, or maybe like resisted it for whatever reason? Like, have you ever gone back to a show that you had initially resisted or avoided or whatever, and then like you were like, oh yeah, I can see what people were talking about. This is really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt, you mentioned Always Sunny in Philadelphia. A former podcast guest was a really big fan of it, and he was always like, "Oh, you got to watch it. Oh, you love it. You love it." And I think I did watch like the first season or something, and it's been on for ages now. But I watched the first season. I was like, "This is funny," but like, it's not really like, you know, whatever. But since then and granted, I haven't watched full episodes, but I've seen a ton of clips online here and there scrolling through, and it is quite funny. The comedy and the writing is quite funny. But the particular format, like the the short form, I guess, like the episodic sort of format. I don't know that I have the attention for, but I do appreciate it more than I used to. I used to be like, ugh, that show, because he would quote it a lot with some other colleagues of ours. And anyway, but yeah, I sort of like half circled back to it.
I was the same with Rick and Morty. I did ultimately go back and give it the good college try. I don't think I finished the whole thing, or like it ended and then they brought it back, and I didn't watch it when they brought it back. But it's like I get the gist of it, and I do understand why people think it is a good show, and I did find it funny. But I just hate the watch it, Pickle Rick. It's like, oh, okay.
My kids were on the Pickle Rick thing for a while, and I was like, okay, first of
never know
all,
what it means.
you guys don't know what it means. And they're like, yeah, but it's funny. I'm like, but also like it's horrendous. So
Yeah, I think I watched the first season of Rick and Morty, and I was like, yeah, this is enjoyable. I don't need to watch more of it, but
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at, like with The Simpsons or Family Guy, even, and all that. It's like I get it at this point. I've seen it. That's cool. It's good. It's funny. I don't need to stay up, or South Park even. I don't need to stay up with the whole thing.
And growing up, I never really watched Seinfeld, and then a few years ago, I did go through the whole series, and like I know, like, there's a lot, Seinfeld is a big cultural touchstone and all this stuff. And I had, seen episodes here and there, but never really like paid very much attention to it. And then, yeah, I did just start at the beginning and watch the whole thing. And, a lot of people are right that it's a funny show.
well, that's interesting. That's actually one of the few shows that I've gotten badgered about the most, in part because I lived in New York, and people really gave me a hard time for living in New York and not having watched the show. And like, I haven't given it the college try, but I have seen clips and episodes here and there, and I wasn't interested. And also Seinfeld kind of seems like a prick. So like, I was just kind of like, I'm good. But then people kept being like, no, you have to. Oh, you're not, you can't live in New York and not. And I'm like, yeah, that's when I dug my heels in. And I was like, fuck you. Like,
you're like, that show is filmed in LA.
Israel bullshit right now. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have shows that you're still on that about? Like, for example, my dad, for some reason, loved Frasier, and I love my dad to death. Tomorrow is actually his birthday, his 70th birthday.
Hey, happy birthday,
and by the
Dad.
time this comes out, happy birthday, Joe Ellis, you fucking legend. But
Legend.
he loved Frasier for some reason, and I always thought the show was like too smart for us. That's not I'm not trying to be mean. I just felt like, oh, it's supposed to be like smart comedy. And I just never got the show. And I watched a couple of episodes here and there. I just don't understand Frasier. It's not for me. I still don't.
I mean, I think it puts on the air of being heady, and it's a little bit cerebral, but it's not really. Like, it's just.
Well, I think the ultimate, like Frasier himself is the butt of most of the jokes, and I think it is making fun of snobby people, and I think that's where a lot of the humor comes from.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Maybe it was just it was outside of the realm of what I was quite understanding at the time. But yeah, that's a show that I don't understand. I don't quite get.
That was one of the few shows my family watched for like a chunk of time. Like we had like the VHSs of or whatever. But Brandon, your previous podcast, you and your co-host talked a lot about Frasier. Like it would regularly appear in your show because you both really enjoyed that. It would be like I think you guys talked about it as being like a show that you would like happily have on the background a lot. Or maybe that was just your co-host.
Yeah, Adrian was more Frasier pilled than I was, but
Okay.
I will say I did watch the reboot of Frasier that came out was it last year, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. It was fine.
I
No,
didn't realize they did another one.
Yeah.
Is his dad still alive? The guy who played his dad?
No,
he passed away.
Yeah, the actor died. And also Niles wasn't in it.
Really?
So who was in it? Or was Daphne in it?
I don't think Daphne was in it either.
So nobody was in it except for Kelsey Grammer.
Frasier.
It was
Kelsey.
Frasier. Roz was in it, who he worked with at the radio station. It's about him moving from Seattle back to Boston and teaching at Harvard. And Niles is, and he's living with his adult son, and who's like a blue collar firefighter guy. And so, I mean, there's a lot of, situational comedy there.
Yeah.
But
is that not 2.5 Men? I never watched that show, but
like the Odd Couple, or it's like just a classic formula. But
I always thought the irony was like, isn't Kelsey Grammer like a big right winger,
conservative guy?
Like, very, very far. I always thought that was kind of like an irony of supposedly like the smart comedy, and him as a person being so, I would say, disillusioned from what I know of him.
Well, I could see, I mean, the show, Frasier is basically making fun of liberal elites. So
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Kelsey Grammer has his own beer company. It's called like Faith Brewing or something like that.
Nope. Hard pass. I'm sure it tastes like dog shit.
I don't like that. That is pretty funny though. Brandon, you're right in that it's making fun of liberal elites, and I wonder if historically the more liberal folks are more easily more apt to make fun of themselves. And it's funny to think about that set. I don't know how open people were about their political beliefs, but I bet that set was pretty interesting, because I would imagine most of the cast and crew were left leaning and he was right leaning, and they were all doing the same thing, making fun of liberal elites, but then like sort of draw back the curtain a little bit and see that. That's interesting. I wonder if that's why some of the I imagine that Kelsey Grammer was a producer on the remake or the reboot, and I wonder if his conservativeness was influencing whether or not people would come back and participate.
I think it probably did. We've been talking about Frasier for like 20 minutes now.
Yeah. We should move on to it.
We should.
Fun.
Let's put a bullet in the back of this cow's head.
Now a Frasier recap podcast.
I don't know anything about the show, so I can't really even speak to it anymore. We should probably move on to another question.
Matt, you know what's a show that you really need to watch from front to back, side to side? Frasier. Watch it. You should watch it.
Hey baby, I hear the music calling, toss salad
and scrambled eggs. I know the song. Like, I know it all. Yeah. I didn't like the show.
Have you ever seen that clip of Kelsey Grammer? He's acting in a play. I don't know what it is, but he's like walking, like giving a monologue, and then he falls off the stage. And when he falls off the stage, he does like the most Kelsey Grammer thing. Like, he's like walking and he goes, "Oh, good Lord." And like when he falls.
Good. That's how everybody should remember him by.
Anyway.
All right. Hit us with a question about
Kelsey Grammer
buttholes or nards or something. Stoner thoughts.
What happens
If
after
you could
we
recast the television show Frasier, who would play Frasier and who would play... No, I'm just going to find nothing but Frasier-based questions now.
A hard pivot to Frasier only podcast.
Pivot would be you make Eddie the main character, and then you just have Wishbone all over again. Haha.
Oh.
A Frasier-based podcast where most of us have not watched the majority of Frasier.
Anyway,
Or
that
like
English chick
kinda
with big
lightly
knockers
familiar
is
with it.
hot. Speaking of growlers, let's talk more about Daphne.
Jeez.
I mean, she is British. That's maybe what she would call it. I don't know. All right.
It's kind of why I said anyway.
Is that what you think she would call it? I'm gonna imagine that 95% of women in England are not calling their vaginas growlers.
Beg to differ. Listeners, let us know. Let's put up a poll, boys. We'll start a social media poll.
Put up a poll. Let's see what you did.
All right. This comes from Ask Reddit, username Investigator Pro. They ask, what was ruined because too many people discovered it?
Should have investigated that more.
The United States of America. No.
What was the question? What failed?
What was ruined because too many people discovered it?
Was ruined.
Frasier.
Rick and Morty. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know. That's kind of a hipster question to ask. It's like,
it is.
My one restaurant around the corner that I really liked, all the people moved in, and now I can't get a table there. You know?
Yeah. Ruined.
Well, it does, happen a lot. Like, somebody go viral on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and then
I can't get a burrito here anymore because everybody wants the one with French fries in it or whatever.
I guess there's like Mount Everest is kind of messed up, like all the garbage and everything that all the climbers leave, and I mean even dead bodies and things, and
dead bodies,
human feces and all that. And there's lines of people just going up the mountain, and it's like it's not really that big of an accomplishment anymore.
Is it not? I didn't know that.
If we're going down that route, I'm going to get hyper local and say Multnomah Falls. Like, you have to have a timed entry now. There's shuttles that take you there because the parking lot is too full on the weekends. I'd say a lot of the Pacific Northwest has been ruined. I'll just say it because of transplants. Like, it's nice to live here. It is. It's fantastic. But the volume of people that are coming in,
Instagrammable place.
yeah, like the volume of people that are coming in is like, it didn't used to be that way. Nobody ever wanted to go to Multnomah Falls. Nobody ever wanted to go to Bend. Bend used to be a shithole. I remember my parents being like, we're going to Bend for the week. I was like, oh, and now it's, ooh, let's move to Bend because we're a tech bro startup and you can mountain bike anywhere, and China Hat and 10 Barrel and Deschutes. And I was like, nobody I would say those are the things that get ruined because just the volume of people that get into places.
Anytime I drive on 84 that direction, like there's a sign around like Fairview, Wood Village area on 84 that it's always like, I feel like every time I drive by it, it's like parking full at Multnomah Falls.
That's crazy. But also, I mean, makes sense because it's a tiny parking lot. I think that's probably, I was trying to think, there's a couple of people I know that I used to work in New York with that moved out to Colorado, and I think there's a few towns in Colorado also that probably, like Boulder, has probably experienced that. but there, the that darn internet, the internet and COVID sort of required people to be able to work remotely, and allowed people to have things like successful employment anywhere they wanted, so they could go to these sort of remote small towns.
Well, it's that and the companies that decided to establish there. So, for
Well,
example,
sure.
I used to live with a girl whose now husband was a software developer for a drone company, and their HQ was moved to Hood River. And it was strictly in Hood River because the guy liked to be a windsurfer. And it's
Yeah.
like that. It's that kind of, I don't want to say privilege, but it's that like ethos that you have the ability to be like, boom, we're rooted here, and then you set the precedence for, sweet, now it's a tech town. It's like I absolutely hate that.
Yeah, I mean, and like it comes back to how the it's the internet, right? The internet has allowed there to be no longer essential, like city centers are still important for some industries, but much fewer industries, especially industries that make a buttload of money, like are all sort of like e-commerce and like also like non-product things, or rather like digital product things. So like yeah, I don't know. Like I think there's tons of the company that I'm working for right now is like they have salespeople all over the country, and they're able to work in regions, and so they travel, and they end up traveling a bunch in particular regions, and it allows for companies that can generate a lot of revenue and pay people really well to be in these places that normally they wouldn't, even 20 years ago would have been very, very challenging to have that kind of money in those kind of places, like or that kind of income in those kind of places. And I have to imagine that has sort of fundamentally changed how people are able to transplant, like you're saying, Matt.
Yeah, I'm all for people transplanting and living their best life and stuff, but it's a delicate balance, because you have a lot of municipalities that want that growth, but their infrastructure isn't there yet. So, for example,
sure.
I live in Ridgefield, Washington, and I built here in 2013, and I could see all the cattle ground from my house all the way to the high school. Now I can barely see my own backyard. Now they have the gall to say I can only water my lawn 1 to 2 times a week. I can't wash my car, because they didn't have the infrastructure to do it. So it's like one of those build, 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 because you see the things going,
Yeah.
but you don't have the infrastructure in line with it. And I think a lot of people, like a lot of municipalities, get disenchanted with the growth and say, or that's not the right way to say it. They fantasize about the growth, and then they go about it the wrong way. So that's one thing that I think is always ruined, is when a town goes viral, or an HQ wants to move to the gorge because it's so cool, or Bend because it's
Sure.
hip now, and it's like you just ruin it.
Yeah.
Cricket.
Yeah, you've got me thinking about the whole kit and caboodle. It is, because I agree, like on a sort of base level, like people should be able to do what makes them happy and move those places, but like oversaturation is always going to be something that ruin. I mean, like when we talk about things being ruined, it's only because it makes it less special for any number of reasons, most often having to do with like what you said, like waiting in line longer or not being able to have a parking spot anymore because, it's so popular. But I don't know. I mean, good for when it's a business, good for the business because like hopefully they're able to, like a restaurant, like hopefully it's popular and everybody there is making more money, and like buoy to them, bummer for me not being able to slide in and get my favorite seat and every time and order what I want quickly.
I would just add, do it the appropriate way, right? When you force out the individuals that like, and I don't want to throw around like the term locals, but the people that are residents and longtime residents or generational residents, and you force them out to, I don't know, be a little bit more thoughtful with those things.
Yeah. Well, it does seem like what happens a lot is, someone will, fall in love with a place like, oh, this has a lot of natural beauty and there's a lot of access to outdoor recreation, things like that. I'm going to plop my company here and move all 10,000 of my employees here. And all of a sudden, and also, there's low taxes. And then you have this influx of people into a tiny area that doesn't have the infrastructure to support
because of the
that
low
much
taxes.
growth all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And then, they don't have the money to upgrade the roads, or it's very slow. And then, that pisses off people who were living there already. And yeah.
My in-laws are in a place where there's a lot of new build happening around them, and they keep going to sort of community like town halls, I guess, and like trying to prevent some of these big groups from moving in because everyone's concerned, including like the township is concerned about the water table and how if they're able to like get water to all of these places. And forget about how this is happening for cities across the country with regard to data centers, but like even with like building neighborhoods and not knowing if you can get water to the neighborhoods just seems insane to me. It's so incredibly short-sighted, and everyone's got money to throw around, so like of course they're getting things pushed through with sort of like a shoulder shrug to the water table. It's just mind-blowing to me how short-sighted
we're currently going through that
is.
in Ridgefield right now. They just broke ground on a reserve water tower, which is going to be in 2028. Thank God, finally. But we're already, and we were last year in a position before Costco and In-N-Out Burger, which is the first In-N-Out Burger to come into Washington State, came in, and they're telling us, hey, you know what? We're in a drought. You can't wash your own cars. You can't water your lawn, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, we're building a car wash. Okay, cool. Like, where is that infrastructure coming from? You're telling me that I use more water than Costco and In-N-Out Burger? I call bullshit on that. And now on the waterfront, they're proposed a port of Ridgefield. They're proposing building a giant, huge commercial area with a hotel. And I was like, you fucking idiots have zero clue.
How does that actually work out?
Yeah. And I was like, and it's on the waterfront, which is supposed to be a protected area. They're notorious for just being like, oh, that was residential. Well, now it's commercial. I was like, you idiots.
That's what boggles my mind about like the rapid growth of like the Phoenix area. Like, like they're expanding so quickly, and where is that water coming from? Especially in the near.
Same with Austin, Texas.
I have a friend that works for Amazon, and he specifically deals with contracts for the cooling stations for their data centers. And we were talking about Phoenix because they were going down there. And he said that the city council says that the aquifers down there, they have enough water to last 2 generations before it becomes an issue. And I was like, okay, but like, shouldn't you be projecting out 2 generations beyond? Like, no, dude, they only care about the next 7 years.
Yeah, it's
like...
insane. It's so short-sighted. I think we've talked about this before on the show. And I guess we've been kind of sort of political and not very fun the last 10 or 15 minutes. But it used to be that people would start projects knowing full well that they would not see the end of the projects. And that's so out of vogue that it's just apparent and concerning for future generations. Exactly like you just said about the 2 generations. Like, frankly, from a history standpoint, like 2 generations is not very long. Especially at the rate with which we're building these data centers and these and like people are scaling in these areas. And like, at the end of the day, like there's gonna be something that has to balance out. Something's gonna have to give. And my fear is that, as is often the case, money's gonna be that thing that wins out, and people are gonna be paying.
There's that old saying that their society grows great when old men plant trees and whose shade they know they'll never sit, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
but it doesn't seem like a lot of people abide by that.
Yeah.
Also, when you put ketchup on my fries and I didn't ask for it, that ruins it.
That ruins it.
I think that's probably where we should have gone with the question, rather.
Or I guess you could go like Pokemon
Transplants.
cards. I mean, I don't collect Pokemon cards, but it's not something that I feel has been ruined for me personally. But I see all those like flipper guys like camped out at the grocery stores, and it's like, this is for children. Like, you're ruining this for kids.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great day when we see the values just like tank overnight one day and be like, no, I spent thousands of dollars on those cards. I have cards out to PSA already. It's like, oh, sorry. It's like, oh, those little play toys? Oh, sorry, they're not worth anything anymore.
I do also, just because my wife is kind of involved in reselling stuff, I think resellers have ruined thrift stores, because now a lot of thrift stores are pricing things higher than they used to be when it's all like donated stuff. But I think they know that they can get a little bit more because people are buying things to resell them.
Wait, so where are people reselling them that are making thrift store, like garage sales or like eBay?
Probably eBay, stuff like that.
Yeah,
where
like
are people reselling
like buying
things
stuff
to drive
at Goodwill?
the price?
They'll buy, let's say a pair of Levi's at Goodwill and then selling it for more.
Okay.
Later, or they'll find whatever, anything.
I guess the bigger issue would be Gary V. Like, if Gary V just didn't exist, he'd probably be fine, because he's like the garage seller now. Yeah, look him up. Gary V is like a influencer. He's been around for a long time, but he's kind of a live your best life motivational guy. And he's super into garage sales now. And he's like, that's where the money is. He's like, you go sift through people's stuff. It's exactly what you're talking about. Like, go into a garage sale, buying that thing for $5 and reselling it for $200 because they didn't know the value.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
anyone can own a pawn shop.
Like, we go to like estate sales and stuff just for fun, and just to paw through dead people's stuff, and
bring home some spirits.
The people, like the resellers there, are vultures. Like, they'll like elbow you out of the way and stuff, and like,
jeez,
make it a really nasty experience.
You ever punch somebody?
Any.
Take a knife?
No.
You should.
There was one, it was kind of, we went to one where there was the mask mandate was still happening, and they were only letting in like 2 people at a time into, like, 2 people would leave, 2 people could go in, and we were in line waiting, and we were next in line, and like these 2 ladies were behind us, and they were like, are you guys going? Because we're gonna go if you're not. And it's like, there's a line, like they're letting people, like, it's like, chill out. Like, obviously you see there's a line, and I don't know. Like
you see these? You see these?
Yeah.
I fucking dare you.
You should find a classic ice pick and shank him.
You know what this is? This is for lobotomies. You want one?
Yeah,
this is forward.
Antique hatchet. Let's see how it looks inside your skull.
Damn.
You should have done that.
Brandon's the best because it's like cool as a cucumber, and then like psychopath.
You ever seen Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman? I'm about to go all white man Indian on you. Yeah. I would have although I will say that's a great tactic for causing hype around your event. Hey, only 2 people allowed at a time. It's like, well, what's in there? What's in there? I need to know what's in there. And then you drive up the price. That's hang on to that one.
Yeah. The top answer here is, this person says food trucks used to be a cheaper way to get food. Now it's $20 for 2 soft tacos, no sides.
Tacos have become out of control.
Yeah, well, dude, paying $3 to $4 for a street taco is outrageous.
Dude, it's crazy.
Well, I feel like if you're going to like ones run by white people, they're going to be more expensive. But if you go to like the real like Latino owned ones that are not like in a desirable part of town, like you can still find good deals and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a spot.
Not here.
There's a spot here in Vancouver, and it's like, oh, this is $5 a street taco. And it's like, why? It's like, well, we spent some time in blah blah blah, and it's like,
blah, blah, blah.
I know this grandma, and it's like, well, you're paying all these white people to do your prep, and it's like, I struggle with that, man. I struggle with paying,
somewhere it's like, here's that price. I mean, if you find the right one, you can get like an 8-pound burrito for $7 or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah, dude. White people taco businesses I struggle with.
I don't think this is racist.
Say it anyway.
I don't know, but if it's like a legit, like, if it looks and smells good and Mexican, or any sort of Latin country food, and if there's like a very obvious like white person like taking the orders, I will generally choose something else. No dig, because like here's the thing, like I love making Mexican food, and like it's like my favorite food to
You're
make.
not charging people for it.
Or if you see the place that all the like landscapers and construction workers and stuff are sitting outside of, then
yeah.
I mean, that probably sounds racist too, but
I think there's a little bit of like inadvertent appropriation for being like, I can make tacos really well, and I'd probably say the same thing about like, oh, I can make Neapolitan pizza. Like there's probably something there to be said about like, it's not necessarily for you. You can enjoy it, but like you don't need to make a business out of it.
There's a YouTube channel called Zach with the Flatback, and he makes Mexican food, and I think his last name is Martinez or something. He looks like a white dude, but his food, I mean, everybody check him out. If you're like, I don't know what I want to eat, just watch like one of his videos, and it'll make you want to have Mexican food. And all of his stuff looks really, really good and authentic. And I don't know what his heritage is, but I'd eat the food that he makes. But
There is,
but aside from that, for the most part, I go to the place where there's other Latino
speaking
folks.
of like food, my daughter is doing a flag football camp. It's called Spud Buff because we
Nice.
are in Ridgefield. It's home of the Spudders, which are potato. Our mascot is a potato.
Nice.
And it's a buff potato that's a girl, and it's taught by the high school. It's taught by the high school football coaches, and one of the guys that was going up and down, and he had his young kids there. I couldn't tell if he was Polynesian, like Hawaiian or Maori, and I was just like, "Hey, man, just curious as to your tattoos," because he was tatted all up and down. But he went down to the field. And one of the reasons why I was like, oh, he's Polynesian, because he was feeding his kids like just endless amounts of Spam musubi.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, this looks so good. This looks so
that
good.
does look
And
good.
I tried it.
Have
and
you
it's
ever
like,
made it?
I've tried, and I suck at it. And
Yeah.
at its core, it's the like simplest thing to make. It's
Sure,
rice
yeah.
and Spam, and you wrap it in seafood. But
It
it's like
looks
We make
so
it
challenging
from
to make.
time to time, and
You
It's
do?
just like the wrapping part is challenging for me.
Yeah.
But I was just like, oh, can I go down and take one of those from his kids?
Nice.
But yeah, food trucks.
This person says local craft fairs. You could get lovely things made by people with good prices. Now a lot of them have imported crap or fly by night rip-off artists. Mind you, the fees and insurance price lots of people out.
Yep.
This person
AI.
says craft stores back in the day.
AI has been ruined because too many people have found it and now just make
Yeah, there's
AI slop.
somebody with similar complaints about Etsy. Yeah, a lot of craft. This isn't like a crafting subreddit. So I'm like, yeah, there's a
I
lot
guess
of.
it does make sense. I feel like everywhere I go to, I was like, man, that's a really cool mug. And it's somebody that has a pottery or ceramic shop, and it's like $75 for the mug. I was like, fucking, yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's
You
the
know?
thing. That's economics, right? If you go onto these sites, you're going to buy the cheaper thing as like pretty often because you are trying to not break the bank. And then that's how these like more street, like the cheaper items are going to be the thing that is outsourced or has like a cutesy name, but then you find out that it's like a subsidiary of Amazon or whatever, and it's got a bunch of Chinese stuff to sell. Like, I don't know. Like that's just how it's all going to shake out.
I would say keyboards. Keyboards used to be good until they ruined them with their creamy and ooh-woo keys or whatever.
Don't
I
make
did
fun of
see
my
one
waifu keyboard.
After you sent that, there's my algorithm obviously knew we were talking about it. But
Yeah.
there was somebody who 3D printed animals for every key.
Well, that's
So
fun.
there was one that was like all frogs, all sheep, all
Nice.
ducks. I was like, oh, but it was like they were typing. I was like, I was like, oh. It just seems wasteful at this point.
This new place that I work is everyone's got Logitech keyboards. There's a few people with like their own like specialty keyboards, but it really made me realize how clickety clackety my keyboards were in my previous jobs. One of them is right here. It's called the Royal Kludge, but it's like a 60% keyboard, and it's so clacky. And this isn't even like the loudest switches you can get.
What does
There
a
are some
60% keyboard mean?
Well, so like there's no number pad, and these are the arrow keys. So like the question mark is doubled as the up arrow and stuff. So you have to use the function key a
Interesting.
lot to do stuff. There's no F keys, so it's just like a small footprint, and it's fun to type on, but you know it's awful. But what's really fun is that there's hot keys, and if you accidentally hit a hot key, you can change the layout. So like I'm trying to type, and I'm hitting the up arrow instead of like a question mark or whatever. really obnoxious.
Tech bros.
Tech bros.
This is a good one. This person says Airbnb. I still remember the first couple of years it was amazing, and then it exploded and destroyed the long-term rental market. I kind of also
Going back
wonder
to
if that's just
Bend.
like, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, going back to Bend, like half the city just annexed all their Airbnbs to be long-term because there was too many short-terms.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of the, the reverse effect of having people be like, oh, I'm a realtor investor now.
Well, it used to be like kind of more economical to get an Airbnb over a hotel, but that's not the case anymore. And
Yeah.
also, like, a hotel, they'll clean up after you, and you don't have to do your own laundry, you don't have to do the dishes, you
have to strip the beds.
Yeah, it's a little easier to deal with, and I think hotels have kind of, like, Airbnb was kind of launched as here's a better alternative to hotels, and I don't think that's the case anymore. And also, I think because it's a tech company, they have to keep increasing their revenue and whatever, so the price,
I think,
keeps going up and up.
We keep hitting on is like these things started out admirably and then they kind of just deteriorated. What is it, the success that has them become undesirable?
Well, I kind of wonder if it's like they just accrue massive amounts of debt as a result of starting up, and
I guess
in order to be profitable they have to raise their prices. And
yeah, I mean,
like,
at the end of the day,
Uber and Lyft were, when they first started, were also like launched as a cheaper competitor to taxis, and now it's not really as economical of an option to to take an Uber a few miles down the road versus a taxi.
Yeah, and all of those companies have shareholders or stakeholders, at least, and even if they're still private, that have to make an ROI, right? Like,
yeah, I'm just curious as to like what the pivot is, where, or what the transition point is, where all these companies that started out with pure of heart, great idea, and they found success, and it's like, well, why did you just get so shitty? Like, what is it that you're responsible to, or what is it that are you trying to be top dog, or what?
Yeah.
Anyway, everything gets ruined. Everything.
I think it goes back to the internet. I'm blaming the World Wide Web.
Accessibility.
Yeah.
Well, try as we might, this episode has gone pretty long in the tooth for
long in the
getting
tooth,
rid
and
of
also
chit-chat.
a bunch of negative Nancy's. Holy smokes.
Anyway, you know what else has been ruined? Taco Bell. No.
Yeah.
Value menus.
Speaking of Taco Bell,
now
you know what
now
else
that
been
we've
ruined? My asshole.
kind of reversed the episode, how's your guys' week going? Do you go into any sports games, or have any?
Man, I'm glad you asked. I'm
interesting
pissed.
weather?
I'm royally pissed.
I got sports ball coming up.
No. Well, yeah, I think that's been an episode. So
Tell us what grinds your gears.
yeah,
Dear
definitely.
listener,
What has
sweet.
been ruined because it's become too popular.
And if anyone says podcasts, I will fucking come after them.
I mean, that is
climb through your ear holes.
That's true. That's probably true. Never mind. I'm not going to come after anybody.
Freddy Krueger your ass in your dream through your ear holes.
Dang.
put an antique hatchet through your skull.
Except, like, if this goes on the internet, you have to say, I'll unalive you. Or because you can't say the
No,
you can't
it's
say
okay
the D
because we're
word.
not monetizing. Like, what are we
Oh, that's
doing?
true.
Making money? No.
Anyway, I'll fucking kill you. Okay.
Yeah, unalive you and make corn out of the video, or I don't know isn't that what they say for porn?
Yeah.
Is corn?
That's They use the corn emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What kind of corn do you guys
at the same
watch?
time? Isn't that a snuff film? What? I don't.
Or sex.
I don't
is
think we should do
segs,
that.
like SEGGS. Yeah, that's all stupid.
Faces
I
of
hate this.
unaliving corn.
I'd hit that a $$. Bing.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and thank you to our loyal patrons for supporting the show. If you haven't already, head over to Patreon at patreon.com/qualified nonsense to show your support and catch some exclusive content, including our new show, Qualified Nonsense After Dark. Watch us over on YouTube at youtube.com/@qualifiednonsense. Also, feel free to send any questions or comments to qualifiednonsense@gmail.com or hit us up on our socials or on Discord, found in the episode description. After you've done all that, please also rate, review, share, like, and subscribe on your podcast app of choice. We'll see you back here next week for another brand new episode of Qualified Nonsense.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Adios.